Welcome to the Agentic AI podcast. Today we're diving into something that, it sounds almost too good to be true. Imagine an IT world where operations are just fully automated, basically invisible, needing hardly any human touch. We call it NoOps. But the question is this just some, futuristic dream? Or is it actually starting to become real for companies today? On this Agentic AI podcast, we're really setting out to explore this huge shift in how enterprise tech gets managed. We'll trace the journey from, standard DevOps all the way to this potential new era powered by Agentic AI. It's a fascinating path, isn't it?
It really is. And this whole evolution, it's incredibly relevant for you, whether you're deep into AI already or maybe you're a decision maker trying to figure out enterprise automation. We're going to unpack how agentic AI isn't just simple automation. It's way more than that. It's about injecting real intelligence, real autonomy into pretty much every part of IT operations. This tech is actively changing how we think about efficiency. It's challenging the old IT ways. And honestly, it's reshaping how businesses deliver value.
Okay, yeah, let's definitely unpack that. So maybe we should start at the beginning, well, the modern beginning anyway, DevOps. It really did become the cornerstone for efficient software delivery, didn't it? Defined by bringing together software development, the dev part, and IT operations, the ops. The big focus was collaboration, automation, continuous improvement, all aimed at speeding up deployments and making things more reliable. Think about CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous delivery pipelines. They were just central to DevOps, linking people, process, tech like never before.
Absolutely. DevOps was revolutionary in breaking down those old silos between teams. But what's fascinating, and something we found out pretty quickly, is that even with all those DevOps improvements, human intervention, it was still a major bottleneck. Managing these increasingly complex systems, especially at scale, well, humans were still needed for a lot of decisions, and that often led to slowdowns, inefficiencies, sometimes errors. We made huge strides, definitely, but we kept bumping up against these limits defined by human capacity.
Right, it's like progress just reveals the next set of challenges. And if you look back historically, before DevOps, things were super manual, really manual. That led to these really isolated teams. Developers would, basically chuck code over the wall to the ops team, which created tons of friction, delays, sometimes real conflict. Then, late 2000s, inspired by agile thinking, DevOps came along. And it wasn't just tools, right? It was a cultural thing, too. It used automation tools, things like Jenkins for CI, Docker for containers, to kind of bridge those gaps. It brought Dev and Ops way closer, creating this shared ownership feeling.
Yeah, exactly. And building on that success, the next logical step seemed to be AIOps artificial intelligence for IT operations. This really started integrating machine learning to crunch these huge data sets. The idea was to shift from just reacting to problems to actually predicting them. By the 2010s, you saw AIOps tools like Splunk, Dynatrace appearing. They seriously improved observability, automated a lot of monitoring, gave teams a much better view of your systems, even flagged potential issues before they blew up.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Even with AIOps making strides, current IT automation still has these pretty significant limitations, almost paradoxical ones. One of the biggest complaints, and I bet a lot of you listening have felt this, is alert fatigue. It's where teams are just drowning in notifications. So many are false positives or low priority stuff. It's like the system crying wolf constantly. People estimate that analysts end up ignoring maybe up to 80% of these alerts, which just tanks productivity and leads to burnout. And worse, a really critical alert could easily get lost in all that noise. It becomes a huge blind spot.
Exactly. And that human oversight, while sometimes causing delays itself, is still absolutely vital for tricky decisions, especially when the stakes are high. If you're running a major banking platform or critical health infrastructure, you just can't hand over complete control. Not yet, anyway. So, needing that human review often introduces delays, proving that even with pretty advanced AI ops, we still haven't quite achieved truly autonomous operations. We're still kind of tethered in many ways to the availability and bandwidth of human experts.
Which leads us right into this vision of NoOps. This is where it starts to sound really futuristic, but compelling. Imagine an IT setup where operations are basically invisible, totally automated, abstracted away from the developers. In this kind of world, maybe serverless platforms handle everything automatically, scaling up, scaling down, monitoring constantly, even recovering from failures, all on their own. So developers, they get to just focus purely on innovation, pushing code, building features without ever worrying about the servers, the network, the databases underneath. It's about letting them create business value, not get bogged down in system upkeep.
The potential benefits there are incredibly compelling. It could transform not just IT, but the whole business. First, you get a massive reduction in what we call toil for engineers, those repetitive manual tasks that just eat up time and morale. This frees them up to focus their brain power on innovation, building new stuff instead of just patching things. We're talking much, much faster deployments, real continuous delivery at a scale we could only dream of before. Then there's the promise of true 24/7 operations, way more reliable, minimal downtime because automated systems, well, they don't need sleep breaks, and of course, potentially big cost savings through optimized resource use, no more over provisioning just in case. The key insight here, I think, is that NoOps isn't just about saving money. It's about fundamentally shifting engineering focus from maintenance to pure creation, turning IT from a cost center into an innovation driver.
Okay, it really does sound like the promised land. But we have to be realistic, right? We need to talk about the risks involved too. This isn't some magic wand. Relying too heavily on fully autonomous AI could actually magnify failures if the AI models aren't perfect or if they hit weird edge cases. Hallucinations, bias, these are real concerns. And then there's the huge question of accountability. When something goes wrong in a super complex self-managing system, who's responsible? Pinpointing that becomes incredibly tricky. Plus, without the right kind of human oversight, maybe subtle problems could snowball into huge failures much faster than we'd expect. That could hit brand reputation, maybe even customer safety. So what does all this really mean for actually getting to that new ops vision responsibly?
It's a really critical balancing act. And if we put DevOps and NoOps side by side, you really see the massive shift we're talking about. In DevOps, human involvement is super high. It's all about collaboration. In the NoOps vision, it's minimal, maybe zero, aiming for full automation levels. DevOps uses partial automation, like CI/CD. NoOps aims for complete self-healing, self-managing systems. Benefits. DevOps brought faster delivery, better quality. NewOps promises that huge drop in operational toil and true 24/7 reliability. But like you said, the risks change dramatically. DevOps has alert fatigue. NewOps brings in potential for amplified AI failures, those tricky accountability gaps. The tools reflect this. Jenkins, Kubernetes, classic DevOps, Agentic AI platforms, those are the key enablers for the NewOps stream.
Which brings us perfectly to the real game changer here, the tech that seems to be making this new ops vision feel, well, less like science fiction. Agentic AI. So what is agentic AI really? How's it different? It basically refers to these autonomous AI systems that can actively pursue goals with very little human supervision. They use complex reasoning, planning, and they adapt on the fly to get complex, multi-step jobs done. Think of traditional automation like a skilled cook following a recipe very precisely, step by step. Agentic AI, that's more like a brilliant sous chef. They can follow recipes, sure, but they can also invent new dishes, adapt if an ingredient is missing, even manage the pantry ordering, all while keeping the main goal, a great meal in sight. And crucially, it acts proactively. It constantly adjusts its plans based on what's happening right now. That's a big leap from older, more reactive AI.
That sous chef analogy, perfect. It really captures the essence. And when you apply that to IT operations, agentic AI's capabilities, they really start to shine. The potential is huge. Imagine agents doing really sophisticated log analysis and anomaly detection, sifting through petabytes, literally petabytes of logs to find subtle patterns, using advanced ML for predictive alerts. This isn't just finding errors after they happen, it's about predicting them before they impact anyone. They also get really good at incident triage and suggesting resolutions. They can prioritize issues based on business impact, even propose specific fixes, cuts down manual triage time massively. Maybe a human confirms the fix, but the AI does the heavy lifting. Another really powerful capability is self-healing infrastructure. Agents automatically fixing failures, maybe by scaling resources, rolling back a bad deployment, restarting services often before a human even knows there was a problem. And finally, continuous compliance enforcement, making sure everything stays aligned with standards like GDPR, SOC2 through automated audits, automated adjustments, perfect adherence without constant manual checking. So what this all means, stepping back for a second, is that agentic AI is truly transformative. It enables operations that aren't just automated, but intelligently adaptive. They can anticipate and respond to complex situations on their own.
Exactly. Agentic AI is the thing that specifically bridges that gap towards NoOps because it infuses real intelligence into the automation itself. Think about proactive monitoring, but with intelligent alert suppression. Agents filter out all the noise, focus only on what's critical, maybe even predict issues before they trigger any alert. Imagine an agent spotting a tiny memory leak in one microservice. Then, on its own, it rolls back the last deployment for just that service, isolates the bad container, spins up a clean one, all before a human even gets paged. Then there's automated incident resolution using these multi-step reasoning agents. They use logic to diagnose, then fix problems, running complex workflows like restarting dependencies or applying targeted patches. They can also continuously optimize cloud resources. Think of them as specialized FinOps agents, SRE agents, CCOPS agents, all working together, dynamically adjusting resources, enforcing security rules, optimizing COGS, all in real time. And all of this can be orchestrated smoothly across the whole tool chain, CI/CD, infrastructure, compliance, ensuring end-to-end automation, from code check-in right through to production with minimal human touchpoints needed.
Yeah, and to make this really concrete, let's maybe walk through a hypothetical but realistic enterprise use case. Picture a big global SaaS company. They're really struggling with frequent outages, the kind that really hurt customer experience. And they're just constantly bogged down by compliance stuff, audits, reports. It's a situation lots of companies find themselves in, right? The IT team feels overwhelmed, always putting out fires.
Okay, so that sounds familiar. How does Agentic AI actually help a company like that? What's the practical solution look like?
That's a great question. And often it involves bringing in something like a specialized SRE agent. So in this hypothetical scenario, they might implement a no-code platform specifically designed for building these agentic workflows, something like what lowtouch.ai offers, for example. And this agent, it completely transforms their operations. It takes over predictive detection, spotting potential problems early. It handles anomaly analysis, digging into why things are going wrong, and then automated remediation, fixing the issues. Crucially, it integrates smoothly with all their existing tools, orchestrating actions across their whole environment. It's like adding an intelligent, proactive control layer on top of their existing setup.
Right, and the result, the outcomes you can get from that kind of deployment, they're not just marginal improvements. They can be genuinely business-changing. You might see something like a remarkable 70% reduction in mean time to resolution MTTR, dropping maybe from 4 hours on average down to just 1.2 hours. That's huge. And it's thanks to the AI doing the root cause analysis faster, often more accurately than humans could. You could also see maybe a 40% drop in manual interventions. Imagine freeing up engineers from, say, 50 manual tasks a week down to 30. Think about what they could do with that reclaimed time. Focus on strategic projects, not just fighting fires. Compliance reporting gets way better too. Automated audits ensuring, say, 100% adherence, replacing what might have been a painful 2-day manual slog before every audit. No more last-minute panic. And most importantly, maybe a significant drop in actual downtime incidents, going from maybe 15 incidents a month down to just 5. That directly translates to happier customers, protected revenue.
Exactly. Those numbers aren't just abstract metrics. They represent a real fundamental shift in how IT works and how the business delivers value. Now, okay, while that NoOps vision is exciting and the results from Agentic AI are clearly powerful, adopting it isn't always straightforward. There are hurdles, which definitely raises that important question. How do you balance this ambitious vision with the practical realities of implementation in the real world?
Absolutely. We need to be clear-eyed about the challenges, and some are pretty significant. Regulatory and compliance barriers. That's a big one. Certain industries, think finance, healthcare, they often have really strict rules about human accountability in decision-making. Full automation gets complicated there. Then there's the whole trust and transparency issue. If an AI system feels like a black box, making decisions nobody understands, it's hard for teams to trust it, hard to troubleshoot. That can really slow things down. And for really high-risk situations, having a human in the loop, it remains absolutely critical. You need that final safeguard to prevent potentially catastrophic failures. And let's not forget the people side, culture, organizational readiness. Shifting towards NoOps requires reskilling people, getting buy-in. Teams might resist giving up control to AI or worry about their jobs. It's not just about the technology, is it? It's deeply about how people adapt and feel secure through the change.
It really is. There's a profound human element here, which is why maybe instead of aiming for pure, absolute NoOps right away, the more likely future, at least in the near term, is something we could call adaptive ops. It's a more pragmatic, kind of hybrid model where agentic AI augments DevOps rather than completely replacing the human element. Stepping back, this approach really recognizes the immense power you get when AI and human expertise work together in concert.
That makes a lot of sense. So in this adaptive ops model, AI acts as a genuine force multiplier. It handles all the routine, repetitive stuff, the grunt work, you could say expertly and tirelessly. And that frees up human engineers to focus on the bigger picture. Strategy, complex problem solving that needs creativity, ethical considerations driving real innovation. It becomes this powerful collaboration. You leverage AI for its incredible efficiency and scale, but you keep human insight right there for the critical thinking, the nuanced decisions, the stuff that really requires judgment. It's like humans are still captaining the ship, but AI is the incredibly capable first mate and crew handling most of the complex operations smoothly.
Precisely. And looking ahead, maybe towards 2025 or so, we'll likely see trends like AI-orchestrated pipelines, truly self-healing systems becoming much more common, maybe even standard in modern IT shops. But, and this is key, they'll almost certainly have essential safeguards, critical human oversight points built right in. It's about smart, supervised automation, not just turning everything over blindly. So, yeah, to kind of bring this all together, while that pure NoOps vision, that fully automated state, might still be more of an aspiration, a North Star maybe, Agentic AI is undeniably pulling us much, much closer. It's automating a huge amount of toil, significantly boosting reliability across the board. The immediate future, as we see it, is probably this pragmatic hybrid, adaptive ops. Sophisticated blend of intelligent automation and indispensable human ingenuity.
It really does feel like the best of both worlds. You get the sheer efficiency, the processing power of AI handling all those time-consuming routine tasks, but you keep human insight, human strategy firmly at the helm for innovation, for complex troubleshooting, and for those really critical high-stakes decisions that ultimately define business success.
So thinking about all these advancements, this exciting potential, maybe the final thought for you listening is, what internal shifts does your organization need to start making? Shifts in culture, in skills, in the tools you use. What do you need to do to truly harness the power of agentic AI and successfully navigate this evolving IT landscape? And remember, companies like lowtouch.ai, for instance, they're already offering specialized agentic AI solutions specifically for DevOps and IT operations, making this adaptive future something you can start building today.
That's a fantastic question to leave everyone with. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into agentic AI and the evolving future of IT operations here on the Agentic AI podcast. We really appreciate you tuning in, and we look forward to our next exploration into the fascinating world of agentic AI.